What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here. It's Tottenham 1, Newcastle 2 in a pulsating game here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And it was, in my opinion, I think the better team lost. I think the better team lost today. We started the game at a million miles an hour. We took the lead, and then a controversial goal against us, which really swings the momentum in Newcastle's favour. And they definitely ended the first half the better of the two teams, no doubt about it. We were coming under pressure. We were conceding chances. Isaac has a big chance, and he also scores one. And then Anthony Gordon as well obviously gets one and misses a big chance as well. So I thought they were getting chances. And then second half comes. Radu goes off, and you're feeling the worst. Radu goes off, and Reguilón comes on. Jed Spence goes into centre-back alongside Archie Gray, and you're thinking, oh my God. After the pressure that we came under in the last 20 minutes, that first half, you're like, how the hell are we going to get through this game without getting absolutely battered? And you know what? Second half, I felt like there was only one team that was going to go on and get a goal. Obviously, no team got a goal in that second half, but I thought Spurs put in an unbelievable effort. It really was an incredible effort in that second half. I thought we were the better team. We were the ones, if we were going to create a chance, it was going to come from us. I thought some of the players out there put in such an effort. Sergio Reguilón, he's been in the darkness for so long. And I thought he put in an unbelievable performance. Jed Spence at centre-back, Archie Gray at centre-back, Pedro Porro puts in his best display in a long time. I thought Bissouma and Maddison, when they came on, an unbelievable effort for the team. The only two players I was pretty much disappointed with was probably Brennan Johnson and Kulusevski. I thought everyone else put in such a good shift. And I couldn't be more prouder of the team than I am today. And I've been one that's been heavily critical of the team over the past month and a half. And today, even though we lost, it just made me proud.
Yeah, it's gutting the effort you could see they were putting in. They were putting absolutely everything today to try and get a result. And I thought Newcastle obviously coming into this game in really good form. You knew they were going to come in confident. You knew at points they were going to be dominating. And that first half, especially the last 20 minutes, it was a struggle. But again, it's fine margins that went against us today. It's just, we started the game so well. Brilliant header from Solanke, diving header. And, we started off, again, like a house on fire, like something that we do quite often recently at home, getting an early goal. And we scored within, the first 4 minutes. And you're thinking, all right, we're on it today. And then, yet again, something goes against us, that handball. We're playing out the back. Bergvall is playing, we're playing our way out of trouble. And it's just so unlucky. Joel Linton's hand is a bit sticking out. It hits his hand. Look, by the letter of the law, it is by accident. It wasn't intentional, but it hits his hand. He takes control of the ball and then plays it through to Gordon, who scores. And I think it should be ruled out. I do think it's a handball. I think that Bergvall's pass is literally blocked by Joel Linton's hand, and it creates the goal. I don't think that should be counting by the letter of the law, because he's not the one who scored and because it was accidental. It doesn't count as deliberate handball, but I think that handball directly leads to the goal, and I think it should be ruled out. I think we got really unlucky there. Bergvall got really unlucky, and within 2 minutes of us scoring and taking the lead, and that good start gets wiped out through just such unlucky play and such fine margins. I thought we carried on playing well for the first, opening 15, 20 minutes, but then Newcastle did unfortunately take control of the game. We maybe lacking a bit of energy at that point. And, Murphy was giving Jed Spence a real tough time on that left-hand side. Gordon a couple of times got in. And they did retake the lead. Isaac, just before scoring, missed a gill-edge chance in the 6-yard box. And then Reguilón nearly turned it into his own net, and Isaac was able to tap it home after more good play from Murphy. And to be fair, with the last 20 minutes, we probably did really want half-time because we were struggling to stay in the game. And it wasn't like they were creating chance after chance, but they were looking very, very dangerous. Gordon was looking dangerous. They had quite a few shots. And look, we went into half-time 2-1. And then we lost Reguilón at half-time, maybe because he was suffering from the flu or whatever it was. We lost him at half-time. And as you say, we had the whole second half. Reguilón left back, Porro right back, Austin in goal, Spence and Gray at centre back. You're thinking, how are we going to get through this half? But to be fair to the team, we put in such a big effort in that second half to try and get back in the game and try and get some points out of it. And Spence, I thought, put in a brilliant effort at centre back. Reguilón put in a brilliant effort at left back. I thought Porro was brilliant all game, to be honest. I thought it was a fantastic effort from him to keep Gordon by and large quiet for a lot of that second half and also provide a threat going forward. And he put in some brilliant crosses himself. We hit the post from Brennan Johnson. We had that moment where Brennan hits it across the face of goal to Reguilón, who returns it across the face of goal, and any touch and it goes into the back of the net. Solanke had a few headed chances as well. Newcastle, I think, only real one chance to speak of. It was that Gordon chance where a shot was blocked from Tonali. It falls to Gordon. He blazed over the bar, and that was really their only chance at the half. And it was Tottenham, piling on the pressure for most of that second half. And for a lot of it, we were able to sustain it. But unfortunately, Newcastle were clever for a lot of that second half, winning fouls and winding down the clock, being smart. Game management, I guess, from them. And look, they're coming into this game with a lot of players to choose from in good momentum, and they ended up seeing out the win, and it was a very good win for them. But for Tottenham's point of view, we tried our best. I don't think you can look at that squad of players and think they're not giving absolutely everything and they're not putting, believing in what they're doing. But unfortunately, it just turns up again, just wasn't enough. And again, I think probably you look at how the game played out, and you probably have to say again, the lack of defensive options cost us in this game.
Yeah, and look, we finished the game. We play a whole 45 minutes of football with not one centre back in the team, not one centre back on the lineup. So I think for everything in it, for everything that we saw today, you've got to be proud. I know we've lost the game, and it carries on a theme. 10 losses this season, which is nowhere near good enough, and from a season perspective, is nowhere near good enough. But all circumstances involved, I think the team put in a hell of a big effort today. They really did. Nobody gave us a chance. And yes, again, I know we lost, but we were a lot more in the game than everyone gave us credit for. I was hearing we were going to lose 6-1, 7-1, 8-1, whatever it was, with the defensive options that we had available. Two of our first choice keepers in Fraser Forster and Vicario out. We have to play Brandon Austin for his debut. You've got a back line which is unrecognisable to the back line that Ange Postecoglou wants to play. You've got 8 or 9 injuries in the squad, as well as hardly any of the team were training in this week because of a bout of illness. Like, the effort that this team put in on that pitch day was incredible. It really was incredible, and I got to commend it. And like I said, I really believe that the better team lost today, because we should have got a goal in that second half. We should have at least drawn this game with the chances that we were creating in that second half. Yeah,
it was just really unfortunate. I thought Ange as well. I thought the subs were good. I know people have been critical of him taking off Bergwijn when he was playing well, but I thought the subs timed when they were just allowed us. They
impacted the game.
Yeah, just allowed us to sustain that energy and that momentum we were building in that second half. I thought Maddison made a really good impact. I thought Basuma made a really good impact as well. Sonny maybe not as much, but I thought he was better than Werner when he came on the left-hand side, but maybe could have done a bit more. Reguilón, I thought, did quite well as well at left back when he came on. So I don't have a problem with how he managed the game. Ange, I thought his subs allowed us to sustain a bit of momentum on Newcastle, but we just couldn't break them down. We did dominate them and we penned them in a bit. Isaac wasn't really getting anything in that second half out of Gray and Spence, which is quite impressive on their front. But it was impressive to keep them quiet. But we couldn't. We created chances, but unfortunately, we just couldn't put any of them away. And it's just gutting. It really is gutting that we got nothing out of it, because I think based on that performance and the level of energy we put in, and I think we deserved to get something out of that game. And
with the state of the squad and the energy that Spurs put into this game, I do fear a lot for Wednesday. I really fear that game. But look, you've got to commend them today. I thought Brandon Austin, he claimed man of the match today. Maybe I don't think he should have got man of the match, but he definitely put in a big effort for the team. I mean, Spence at centre-back as well, I thought was brilliant. Solanke, he was just working his socks off up front, trying to get to every loose ball, winning headers, being aggressive, fighting for the team. Like I said, I mean, the 3 disappointing players were Kulusevski, Brennan Johnson and Timo Werner in the first half. I mean, from an attacking force, they just weren't good enough, were they, today?
Decky was off it, unfortunately. In things where in other games they come off for him, like little spins and flicks and crosses, like, unfortunately didn't come off. I don't think his link play was particularly good as well. I think Porro was finding him in good positions and he wasn't able to muster up the quality we know he's got. I thought he was disappointed today, unfortunately. But positives in terms of, I thought Brandon was decent, like, given credit. Bergwijn, I thought he was a real positive again, especially in the second half, the way he started it, and I thought it was really growing into the game, and especially against that midfield three. There were times in the first half where he struggled, but I thought second half he really adapted to it and was really starting to assert himself in the game. I guess on that sense it's a bit of a shame he went off, but I thought Basuma and Maddison came on and did really well. So I don't think the change was a bad change. I thought Bergvall had a really strong showing. I want to see more of him for sure. Solanke, I thought, had a pretty decent game overall. I thought it was a tough one for him up against two strong centre-backs, and I thought he competed well, scored a brilliant goal, and look, we were having a lot more chances. He had a lot more headed chances in this game. We're getting it into him, and I think for me, man of the match, Pedro Porro. I thought brilliant. I thought today defensively up against Gordon. I know he scored, but again, you look at the goal, you can't really say it's Porro's fault. The Bergvall, it's a really unlucky moment, and then they just catch him cold, and they get him behind in that one moment. But I thought by and large he actually dealt with Gordon quite well, and I thought going forward he was our biggest threat. He was the one where it looked like something most likely was going to come from with his crossing ability on the right hand side, and whenever we fed him and we got ball in, that's when we looked most dangerous. So credit to Pedro Porro, and again, no surprise, a week break, and he's looking a lot fresher and a lot better.
I wanna talk to you about Sergio Reguilón, because he's a player that I've been speaking about the last couple of weeks that said, he should be getting a lot more chances because no matter if he's in the manager's plans or not, he is a left back. We're struggling at left back, and we've got players that are just out on their knees at the moment. He gets his chance today, 45 minutes of football. And I thought he stood up to the challenge really well. And it actually, it's not actually surprising when you put a left back at left back and it looks a lot more comfortable. I thought he did play better at left back than Spence did today from a defensive aspect. And judging on the performance today, the 45 minutes that we saw, and judging about how Destiny Udogie has been out on his knees, he's had 2 injuries this season, and he's just played way too much football. Why has he not been given more of a chance up until now?
Well, he's not on the Europe squad.
But he's in the Premier League and he's in the Cups.
Yeah, because he shouldn't be here.
But he is here, and we're overplaying players.
Yeah, but I guess the reality is he wanted to leave. We wanted to get rid of him, so we haven't really seen him as, we'd rather give the minutes to players who want to be here.
And overplay them and put them in the danger zone.
Yeah, but, those are players who want to be here. And unfortunately, he's here because he couldn't find a move. He's not here because.
Yeah, but looking at him on the pitch as well doesn't exactly feel like he didn't want to be here. He was giving his all today.
Yeah, and he did well. I think he's still a bit of a bull in a china shop, to be honest. And I think, but look, we needed that energy that he brought in that second half, and he did well. I thought, Spence was struggling against Murphy, and I thought Murphy was a lot more quiet once Reguilón came on. Again, probably because he was on Reguilón's natural side, and it was a lot more comfortable for Reguilón to defend in those situations. Obviously, we've been playing Gray there as well. We've been we've played Spence there. We didn't include Reguilón in the Europa squad, so that's why he has been getting opportunities. But I guess he might have to play on Wednesday. But depending on how Dragusin is, if I don't know what's happened with him, if Spence has to play centre-back on Wednesday, then Reguilón has to play. No other choice. So we might have to play him. But admirable performance from him. Obviously, he had that one big moment in the box where he dragged the shot across the face of goal. I think other than that, going forwards, he got in the positions. I don't think he did do much, but he got there. He got in forward really well. And I thought defensively he looked quite comfortable. Up against Murphy.
And it's what we've needed. It's what we've needed, particularly over the past couple of weeks. And it really could have been an option. Even if you don't start him, to bring him on with half an hour, 20 minutes to go, just to ease the burden of some of the players that we've been overplaying this season. And I think if he's going to stay here in January, we don't bring in a left back this January, we're going to need to use him. We're going to need to. And I think today showed that he can actually play. And, it's not like we're playing mucks today. We're playing one of the form teams in the Premier League. We're playing a Newcastle team that's just absolutely battering everyone. They're not conceding many goals. And an injury-ravaged, illness-struck Spurs team really gave them a good game today and probably should have taken more. And definitely should have taken more from the game today. Radu Dragusin, whether it was due to injury or whatever, or illness, I thought he was really poor in the first half. And actually, Spence came on in the second half, and I thought he did a lot better job at centre-back than Radu did.
Yeah, he did. I thought, apart from a couple moments where I thought he dribbled his way into trouble, but he was lucky to kind of win. He was lucky to win some free kicks. And actually, I thought aerially, there was a couple of times where he nearly put us in a lot of trouble, especially near the end where he comes racing out for a header and Willock plays Barnes in behind. But I thought by and large, when he was in one-on-one duel with Isaac, I thought he did really well. I thought he was physically able to compete with him. I thought a lot of the times where Newcastle went long, he was mopping up a lot of those long passes. I thought him and Gray found some sort of relationship. I thought Gray was positionally really well, and then Spence was using his physical traits to kind of mop up defensively. I don't think it's something that. I think it's something that he did well over a 45-minute period. I think from what I saw, if it was over a long stretch of time, I think those mistakes will be punished from what I saw today from him. But I thought over that 45-minute stretch, he did get away with a few mistakes, but I thought he did really well in general, considering he was playing out of position and what he had to contend with playing against the informed striker in the league at the moment. I thought I'm not gonna criticise him. I thought him and Gray did really well to keep him quiet in that second half, and they did continuously keep going along for him and looking for him in behind it. They kept dealing with it, and he didn't get a sniff in that second half. So fair play to them. They did really well to keep him quiet, and we did really well to keep dominating Newcastle and keep on top of them and keep forcing opportunities. And unfortunately, it just wasn't enough. You had the likes of Maddison, Sutter, Basuma, Son also probably suffering from flu, and they had to play half an hour, and they came on and did quite well. But look, in terms of the context of our season, it's another defeat, and we're now actually 11 points off fifth, and look, we're dropping like a rock. We're dropping like a stone. Unfortunately,
more like a rock than a stone, mate.
This injury crisis has just completely derailed our season. I just think that's the reality from the league point of view. There's no getting away from it. I think I don't know where the next win's coming from. I think our next league game is Arsenal, is it?
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to go to the Emirates. I don't know who we're going to have back from that point of view in the next couple of weeks, but in between that, we've got a cup semi-final, and we've got a FA Cup third round to contend with as well. So, look, the games don't stop coming, and look, I just feel for Ange. I feel for the players at the moment because they're trying everything. In my opinion, I think they're putting everything on the line to try and get results, and this league is just brutal. You've got teams like Newcastle banging form. You've got teams who are, not running on empty as much as we are. Who are just also giving everything to get results, and
but
we're trying.
Also, I look at the effort that the team gave today, and you could clearly see the team were really up for it and wanted to give their all. It just makes me think, like, in the last couple of games, even with the injury crisis, like, they didn't show that kind of application and desire in previous games during this injury crisis. So it also makes me a bit disheartened about those kind of games.
I don't know. I think they've been giving their all. You got to remember today they had a week break. The games before that.
Week break, but they weren't training. They're all ill.
Yeah, but they, before, but some, not all of them are. Some of them are a lot fresh. Like Porro, clearly a lot fresher than he usually is. Before that, they're playing every 3 days, very little rotation. They're trying to get the energy levels up, but it's a lot harder. Today, obviously, they had a bit more of a break, and the players who had that break and weren't ill looked a lot fresher today and were able to keep up those energy levels for longer. And I think that's why we saw that. I think they've been trying their best. I really do, throughout this whole situation. And I think, unfortunately, we're just in the situation we are in. And I don't know what we can do until we get a lot of these players back to start turning, or getting some signings in to really turn this situation results-wise around. And I think the reality is now with the league season, this last 6 weeks has killed us, absolutely killed us. And we're now completely fallen away. And I think we've just got to put all our eggs in the cups at the moment and try and see if we can try and obviously finish in the top half and not disgrace ourselves in the league. And that's what I think. I can't see us getting like top 6 or at the moment, the way things are going, or,
top 6.
I can't see us getting there because we've just fallen away too much. Unless we have a serious run from like February, March time onwards. I can't see that happening at this point because of the situation. But the cups are still there for us. Hopefully, by the time the Europa League comes around, again, if we can get into that top 8, once Europa League comes around, we'll have a lot of our squad back, and we can really have a good go at that. But at the moment,
if Ipswich win today, we were only 6 points off relegation.
If Ipswich win, we'll be 6 points off them. Depending on what Everton and Wolves do, because if Ipswich win, they're going to 16th.
Right.
But I don't think we're going to be drawn into a relegation battle. But look, what can we do? You can see what they're trying at the moment. I just don't think another manager gets a better performance out of the team than I saw today in the circumstances.
In this game particularly, I don't think another manager gets better out of them, because in this game particularly, I thought they were brilliant, and I thought they deserve credit coming out of this game. I'm just talking about the games leading up to this, because we didn't see the same kind of fight and impact in the game in this game in previous games than we have in this game. I think that is reality.
I just disagree. I think we've been.
This is the best we've played it since the Southampton game.
Yeah, because under different circumstances, we had a bit more of a break in this game. And I know we had players down with flu, but the players who weren't were a lot fresher today, and they were looking up for it. Unfortunately, that's just what it is. I think we've been trying our best. I really do. In every game, I think we've been doing our best. We've been fighting in every game, but unfortunately, the schedule's been brutal. The crisis has been brutal. This league is brutal when you're coming up against all these good teams. And yeah, look. I struggle to see how it gets better in the real short term while we're in this situation. Hopefully, on Wednesday, we just got to, if we can keep the score to 2-1, I'll take it right now, and hopefully try and do something at Anfield. But we just got to try and keep the score down on Wednesday. Maybe Liverpool rest players if they're being nice to us, but I don't know if they will, because they got an easy game in the FA Cup coming up, so probably no reason to rest players. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. That's where we are at the moment. You look at how well we finished the game. Look at the team that finished the game. Like, how are we supposed to be keeping teams out with that backline? And I think it cost us today, really. I think that's the main thing that cost us.
Yeah, and it looks as though we are kind of facing a prospect of another year out of Europe. That's the reality right now. But look, a valiant effort from the team today. We did lose the game once again, which is our 10th loss of the season, which is really hard to take. And I think the result today and the consistent results are really hard to take. But I do take something from this game in terms of positivity, because they gave everything for the badge. And that's all I could have asked today, because I was fearing the worst coming into this game. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we lost, but we should have and could have taken more out of it. But that is our match reaction. We were good, but unfortunately, good was not good enough today, and we lost the game. So 2-1 Newcastle win at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.